centric support and future-ready technologies. Grow on your own terms with a partner dedicated to your success. Go to commonwealth.com to learn how. And we thank Commonwealth for foundational support, particularly economic support here at Bloomberg Surveillance. And the important data, Paul, got Michigan coming up.
Yeah, we'll have it for you at 10 o'clock. Yep.
Yeah, that's anticipated. What's anticipated? I don't know. The market's -5. It's like a continued bid to the market. Okay, this is like, Leslie's in, and we're going to talk about liquefied natural gas. And all of a sudden, it's like, okay, we'll do it. And it's interesting and all that. She's with Energy Vista. And we're going to look at liquefied natural gas. And it liquefies at -230 degrees Fahrenheit. And the equation is C2H6 or something. I flunked it in chemistry. I'm sorry. Except you're the most important interview of the day.
Oh, good to know.
All of a sudden, your world is front and center with U.S. China, U.S. Europe. So the boats go to China, but your boats with LNG may turn around and go to Europe. Do I have that right?
So they already stopped flowing to China since February, actually, both for economic reasons and the 15 tariffs that happened at that time. But we've seen that China has used its retaliation from the beginning. It's geopolitical lever that it has on US LNG from the beginning. Same as last time, like the first trade war, China has stopped importing US LNG for a couple of months until the trade deal happened. And then they spiked their imports of US LNG. So I think that China is using its coercive diplomacy, retaliation right now, but a deal is still on the table.
I should say Leslie Palti-Guzman. I didn't introduce her correctly. Paul's putting me in the timeout chair. Leslie Palti-Guzman with us from Energy Vista. Paul, this is a big deal.
It is. And how do you think, when you think about the global trade here, we're talking about tariffs with so many different countries and so many different products and services. How does the energy industry think about a world where free trade may be on the decline?
Mm-hmm. So, Paul, let me ask you a question. What's in common between Alaska and shipping? So they were both mentioned in the speech of the State of the Union earlier this year. And this is the card that South Korea can play. So all the countries right now, they are looking at all cross agencies, cross sectors, what they can come to the table with the US. And infrastructure, shipping is going to be big on the table, and South Korea has a competitive advantage here. And they can buy also more US LNG imports and potentially from the Alaska project that everybody is talking about.
Basic one, an LNG ship that's not going to China, can it go through the Panama Canal? Can they fit through the Panama Canal?
Yes, they can, but all 2024, most of the LNG tankers from the US have avoided the Panama Canal because of the bottleneck, rerouted around the Cape of Good Hope.
Oh, man.
But it made more sense anyway, economically, to send it to Europe. And Europe was the largest market for US LNG.
Where does it come out of the East Coast? Is it Gulf of Gulf of America?
Yes.
Sorry. Where's the major LNG depot that's going to take all this to France?
Mostly in Texas, Louisiana, all around the US Gulf Coast.
And where do they go, Rotterdam, or do they go to France somewhere?
They go to France, Belgium, the UK, Turkey, south, like all along the Mediterranean, the Netherlands, Germany.
So what's Secretary Bessent going to do with this, with your world of LNG?
So I think that it's a logical avenue to play this card because the US wants to sell more of it, unleash the American gold, and Europe needs it right now to keep Russian gas and LNG at bay. And so there is a common ground of understanding here. And US LNG, yes, the permitting barrier has been removed, but US LNG still needs to be built if new projects come along. And the financing is really challenging for this new project. And the US needs to sell. If there is no market, there is no exports.
But don't we, I mean, when I think about liquefied natural gas, I came to understand the importance of it during when Russia invaded Ukraine, and that shut off a source of energy for Europe. And so the U.S. liquefied natural gas became so much more valuable and so much more important. But isn't the problem in the U.S. is we don't have necessarily the pipelines to get it to the ports in Galveston or wherever we need to get it to?
Yeah. So you're raising an important part of the equation that infrastructure in the U.S. more infrastructure needs to be built on the pipeline side. So it all depends what is the source of the gas for this LNG. Is it associated gas from oil production or it's dry gas? That will be important in the future.
Well, I got 20 seconds. Michael Barr's chomping at the bit. As clearly as I can, an LNG tanker is 2 football fields, and there's only 25 people on board?
No, I don't even know exactly what's the crew, but I can give you another data point.
Please.
How many U.S. flagships do we have?
Like almost none, right?
Exactly.
Exactly.
I think we have only one new one that recently dropped a cargo in Puerto Rico. That was like the only recent ones that we had. And globally speaking, 80% of the trade is on the ocean. How many U.S. ships altogether that we have? Only 80.
Yep.
That can do global trade.
This is great.
Yeah, so
I've learned more. I've learned more in
like-
7 minutes with Leslie
I know.
Palti-Guzman, and the whole thing. Can you come back?
I can come back.
Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Leslie Palti-Guzman, Energy Vista, with us. Oh, did we cut into Michael Barr's time with our news in New York City? Michael Barr.
Thank you very much, Tom, Paul, Lisa. Final preparations are underway for Pope Francis'